Chapter 74 3 Years. This wasn't the first time Mo Fan had heard of the underground holy spring. It appeared that the one-eyed magic wolf from that time had stolen the energy from the underground holy spring, and it had almost evolved into an even higher rank. From that, it was evident that the underground holy spring was the heavenly treasure of Bo City. Even the magical beasts would sneak into the dangerous areas where humans dwelled to steal it. Our Bo City naturally has some special resources. They are specially provided for those who are on the verge of entering the magic universities. Unfortunately, the underground holy spring is an extremely limited resource. We can only open it up for a single student every once in a while. This student isn't just simply chosen from a school, but the magic clans and ancestral families also have to fight for the spot, Principal Zhu said. After saying this, Deng Kai couldn't help but give off a bitter smile. Principal Zhu, we haven't had the qualifications to take that spot for many years. I feel like it is always taken by the disciples of the clans and families. That's not strange at all. The ancestral families and clans are able to focus their resources into an outstanding disciple. Additionally, the nurturing and training which they can obtain is not something our egalitarian school can compete with. Principal Zhu seemed quite calm. It appeared he was already indifferent about this matter. Mo Fan, the outcome of this battle is not something you need to put any importance on. Having you realize the might of a disciple from an ancestral family is also good. In the future, you will be able to stay calmer on the road of cultivation and work even harder. As for the revenge from the Mu family, that won't be something you need to worry about. After you enter a magic university, they naturally won't be able to touch you that easily, and if you were to remain in Bo City, then we are still quite willing to continue nurturing you, Deng Kai said. After hearing the two teachers' words, Mo Fan felt somewhat moved. No wonder why Principal Zhu and Deng Kai had such prestige within the hearts of the students and their parents. It seemed like they had always been on the side of the common students. They were willing to protect the common students, even from the ancestral families and clans. These kinds of people were hard to find. One had to know that the school directors of many other public schools would try to curry favors with the strong. Alright, the competition is the day after tomorrow. Adjust your mindset and perform properly. Even if winning against this Yu Ang, who has been carefully nurtured by the Mu family, is impossible, the duel this time is still an opportunity for you. It is not an everyday occurrence that you can gather so many important people of Bo City to watch youngsters have a duel. Even after you enter a university, a magician's advancement requires a large amount of resources. If you are to find someone of influence to watch over you before you enter university, and is willing to subsidize you, then it will be much better for you after you enter university. After all, the competition amongst the magicians in the universities are even fiercer. If you don't have anything, then you won't be a match for those students who have an even stronger power behind them, Principal Zhu told Mo Fan. The two teachers didn't say anything useless. In fact, they were telling Mo Fan the answers to questions that he would encounter in the future. They hoped for Mo Fan to understand that the road of magicians wasn't that simple. Mo Fan once again expressed his thanks to the two teachers. The time went past very quickly. The Mu family was in their manner as they wildly beat their gongs and drums. Mo Fan walked out of the school. He raised his head up at an angle as he couldn't help but sigh in sorrow. Shit, 3 years have gone past so fast. It's not long before I will have to leave this school gate. 3 years ago, I walked out of middle school. 3 years later, I'm on the verge of walking out of this high school. The school gates had numerous cars parked there today. Most of them were here to pick up their adorable mage children and return home. The school had given the students 10 days of self-cultivation time in order to welcome the Magic High exams that happened after those 10 days. But before the Magic High exams, Mo Fan naturally still had his duel. In fact, he had been waiting far too long for this day to arrive. He could not forget the high horse attitude which Mu He had displayed when he snatched away their family house, nor his father Mo Jiaxing's low and petty action that caused Mo Fan's heart to tighten. He would definitely not forget Mu Zhouyan's conceited attitude from 2 years ago. A long time ago, he had treated them as a dog as he drove them out, yet, on that day, he threw a bone and called Mo Fan back, expecting him to come. Was he born into this society to be controlled at the very bottom by the guys who tyrannically abused him? No one should be born to be someone else's slave, unless they were willing to lick the shoes of their owner. The him of yesterday was indeed not even worth mentioning, a clown with a mouse as sideshow. Tomorrow, He would enter the gates of the Mew family and rely on the cultivation which he had bitterly worked on for so many years to defeat the disciple which they had carefully nurtured and let this fool understand what it meant to start a great fire with just a tiny spark. Mo Fan, a familiar middle-aged man yelled toward him. "Father, how come you're here?" Mo Fan asked as he lowered his head, astonished. "I heard that the school is giving you guys a self-study holiday, so I came here to pick you up." Mo Jiaxing revealed a spotless row of teeth, his face filled with a silly smile. It felt like he had returned to 3 years ago when he had walked out from failing the exams. It had also been filled with cars by the gates, and his father, Mo Jiaxing, had been waiting with the crowd, his face sweating. The difference was that Mo Jiaxing was more tanned and skinny. Mo Fan didn't even need to ponder to understand that his father had been running all over the place for the family in the past 3 years. The other difference was that Mo Fan himself had gone from a student who was lagging behind the others to a magician who had grasped the lightning and fire element. At the very least, he was worthy to face Mo Jiaxing's decision to send him to the magic school without hesitation. "Father, you don't need to work so hard. Didn't I transfer a bit of money over to you?" When Mo Fan saw his father this tanned, he began to feel bad. "You can keep your money to yourself. A magician needs a lot of money. I have heard from the old mages in the stronghold saying that there is something called a stardust magic tool that is able to increase the speed of your cultivation. I'll see if I can raise some money to buy you one. This way you'll have something when you enter university, or else what would you have to compete against those other kids from the big cities?" Mo Jiaxing said with a smile. Mo Fan was momentarily speechless. Magic had replaced science, yet Mo Jiaxing was still like a common father, pure and blunt. "Don't worry. That thing has already been provided to me by the school. Don't worry, take that money and go check out houses with little Ant when you have time. You don't have to buy it, you can just rent one for now," Mo Fan said. This year Mo Fan had hunted quite a few beasts. Their commission was considerable, from 120 to 130 KRMB. This money was not enough to buy magic equipment, nor magical tools, but it was enough to allow his father to rest for a period of time and relieve the pressure of their finances. The truth is, Mo Fan didn't know how to tell his father Mo Jiaxing that a stardust magical tool was actually really expensive. It's not something you could afford even if you were to work hard for a few years. This thing was something you couldn't buy even if you were to work hard for several lifetimes. Chapter 75 Variety of Ways. That's not necessary. You're entering university soon. Who would be staying in that house? It's better if Xinxia is at your little aunt's, and us big men have a hard time taking care of her. I give your little aunt some money every month. Speaking of which, the card you gave me has about 100 or so thousand, plus I have around 80,000 saved from running all over the place. In total, there is 200,000. It's enough to buy a piece of magical equipment, right? I heard that thing is extremely important for magicians," Mo Jiaxing continued. "I already have a piece of magical equipment." Oh, I almost forgot, you had obtained a magical tool from Zhongkong. Honestly, you're really giving face to your father. I don't know how many times I've heard the old hunters in the stronghold talk about that matter. Speaking of this thing, Mo Jiaxing's face was brimming brilliantly as he just now realized it had already been a year. "Tomorrow, I will go to Mew Manor to have a magic duel with someone called Yuang," Mo Fan said sincerely to his father. I know. I have implored some elders in Mew family to have Yuang go easier on you. Either way, you're only there to give some luck to his coming-of-age ceremony. Being able to display yourself in front of so many powerful and influential people of Bo City is also an extremely rare chance for you. Speaking of which, I wonder how you even thought of this kind of outstanding method back then. Anyway, don't offend Master Mew again, he is still unhappy about the thing between you and Mew Ningzhu back then. You little brat, so young, yet the pearl of a family almost eloped with you," Mo Jiaxing said. Mo Jiaxing didn't blame Mo Fan for the things that happened in the past. Mo Fan was too young back then. Doing a few stupid things was only normal. Furthermore, the biggest problem didn't lie in his own son. The problem was the other family was too powerful. Sigh, if only Mew Ningzhu was the daughter of a common family. That way, he'd have gained a daughter-in-law. This little brat didn't have any redeeming qualities, yet his ability in swindling a lady back when he was a child was outstanding. This magic duel was seen as an incredibly good thing by Mo Jiaxing. Many other disciples who had better circumstances than Mo Fan were very eager to appear at this incomparably grand coming-of-age ceremony. Even if they were only there to enhance Yu Eng, it was still a supreme honor. For a fool like Mo Fan, this kind of opportunity was indeed very good, as long as this Mo Fan didn't have intentions to actually fight for the outcome of the battle. What kind of a background did the other person have? If they were able to be the supporting character, that'd be fine, as well. If Yu Eng really became a great character of Bo City in the future, then they'd at least be able to say, "I fought with him once before." "Father, I will be able to win," Mo Fan said sincerely. "Don't be too ambitious. I am already very satisfied with the grades you have gotten now," Mo Jiaxing said as he patted Mo Fan's shoulder while laughing. Seeing Mo Jiaxing's attitude, Mo Fan's heart was somewhat puzzled. Why do you guys think I am going there to be someone else's cannon fodder? The Mu family's invitations were sent ages ago. The entire Mu Manor was already surrounded by their distinguished friends and high-class crowds. The employees of Mu Manor were extremely busy. Even a stray weed in the flower bed would cause a huge fuss before they fixed it. Mu Joyan went overboard for the coming-of-age ceremony this time, making sure everyone in Bo City would know about it. Mo Fan had wondered in the past why Mu Joyan had set him to fight against Yu Eng. It seemed like this cunning sly fox had actually planned this whole thing. It was all about adding a little good luck charm to the grand banquet. Just drinking and eating would have no meaning. Watching the younger generation duel was better. Not only would he be able to deal with a sewer rat like Mo Fan beneath the gazes of everyone, but it would also give his Mu family some face. What reason would he have to not go through with it? To be honest, Mo Fan really hadn't thought that the old scoundrel Mu Joyan would give it such wide publicity. Perhaps it really was as Principal Zhu and Deng Kai had said. This was a contest between the disciples of an ancestral family and the students from school. The current Mo Fan was no longer just the student with the best grades at Tianlan Magic High in name only. There was a chance that even if he hadn't inconvenienced Master Mu, he still would have ended up battling against the disciple of the ancestral family. That's fine. We'll deal with the new and old grudges at the same time. Old scoundrel, since you gave it such wide publicity, then this, Daddy, I will make you lose face. Mo Fan stood in front of his old house, as he raised his head to look at the Mu Manor that was decorated with lanterns and colored banners as it lit up splendidly. It brought a cold smile to his face. On top of the manor, Mu Joyan suddenly sneezed. He was currently sitting inside the tea room as he rubbed his mustache. His face was filled with pride as he looked at Mu Ningzhu, who had returned a while ago during the summer holidays. This coming-of-age ceremony was originally prepared for you. However, your father, I, didn't think that you were far more outstanding than what we had imagined. This tiny Bo City is no longer something you need to contend for. This coming-of-age ceremony will be given to Yu Eng. He is loyal to our family. In the future, he can become your right hand when you contest against the disciples of other elemental ancestor families. Mu Joyan said. For his daughter, Mu Joyan had actually gone through a lot of trouble. Why are you still holding on to him so tightly? Even if you wanted to let Yu Eng obtain the opportunity of the underground holy spring the proper way, you could still have chosen someone else. Finally, Mu Ningzhu couldn't help but open her mouth. The him Mu Ningzhu was pointing at was naturally Mo Fan. That little scoundrel slandered me in front of so many people. How could I possibly forgive him? Doesn't he think that he's noble and virtuous? Doesn't he think that he's amazing? How is it inappropriate of me to give him such an exceptionally good opportunity? I have already arranged it. When the time comes, you just need to sit next to me and watch. Mu Joyan's mood immediately changed when this matter was brought up. Still protecting that kid at this time? Mu Joyan did not understand. There were so many outstanding disciples from these large ancestral families, yet she didn't say more than a sentence to them. She just had to care about a poor kid who didn't know how to admit his mistakes and had no abilities whatsoever. Then tell Yu Eng to stop before he goes too far. Mu Ningzhu knew that her father wouldn't budge a single step on this matter. Thus, she also spoke of her own bottom line. Don't worry, I have morals. I only want to let this kid who doesn't know the difference between heaven and earth understand that the dignity which I stomped on doesn't mean anything. Whereas tomorrow, he will understand that being completely defeated beneath the gazes of everyone is truly losing all his face. Mu Joyan couldn't help but smile. Little thing, you want to play with me, Mu Joyan? When I shook the whole of Bo City, you were still inside your mother's womb. I, Mu Joyan, have a variety of ways to make you unable to raise your head again within Bo City.